Fisches Fritz, Fisch, Fische, 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 Fische. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about funny German words because clearly there is a misunderstanding on the internet about fun and being German, and as a German, I was very sad to see that when we asked you on Instagram if you associate fun and Germanness, all of you said no, and yeah, that was a really sad moment, and that's why we're doing this video with some fun German words that actually don't exist in any other language. So here you go. The first one I want to show you is Ohrwurm. It literally translates to earworm, and what it means is that, like a worm stuck in your ear, there is a really annoying song stuck in your head and you just can't get rid of it and you keep singing it. The song that I have stuck in my head right now is "Must Be the Reason Why I'm King of My Castle." You know that song? Now it's in your ear as well. You're welcome. Ohrwurm is a very useful German word that doesn't exist in any other language. Next up is Weichei. That literally translates to soft egg. It means someone who has a weak character, who's weak-minded and who will not stand up for what they believe, but just go with the flow and try to avoid conflicts. It can also have a more light-hearted meaning, but mostly it's an offensive term. Next up is a word that I particularly know and like. It's called Erklärungsnot. That doesn't really translate into any other language. What it means is that you want to excuse something bad you've done, but you can't because you've not thought of an excuse before. Say you forgot your homework and you're like, no, I forgot my homework. And then the teacher's like, where's your homework? And you're like, and that's Erklärungsnot. So there you go. Next up is Purzelbaum. Purzelbaum you might think is a plant, but it is not. It means a somersault on the ground, mostly resulting in dirty knees. Now, I would do one now, but I don't think anyone wants to see that, so I won't. The next word is Zungenbrecher. That literally translates to tongue twister, and it means a sequence of very similar sounding syllables. See what I did there? An example in German is Blaukraut bleibt Blaukraut und Brautkleid Blaukraut bleibt Blaukraut und Brautkleid bleibt Brautkleid. There you go. The next word is Kuddelmuddel. Kuddelmuddel means a mess, a chaos, something that is not in order and has no plan. So it's technically a not very German thing, and that's why Germans have a word for it, and they actually have a lot of words for it. In addition to Kuddelmuddel, you can also use Wirrwarr, Mischmasch, or Tohu Wabohu. Now we're going to move on to Luftschloss. That literally translates to a castle in the air, and it means a dream that is not realistic or attainable. So, for example, if I am very determined that I will be a prima ballerina, that is not entirely realistic, and therefore it's a castle in the air, it's a Luftschloss. Now imagine a movie is playing in your head, like for example me dancing like a prima ballerina, which of course everyone loves. That's called a Kopfkino. It literally means a cinema in your head, and it means that a film is playing in front of your eyes and you're like, I don't want to see that, but it's already happened because it's like in the movies. Kopfkino. The next one is one where I'm always really surprised that it doesn't exist in any other language but German, because I feel like it's a human feeling that everyone in the world knows. And we're talking about Kummerspeck. Kummerspeck means that you gain weight because you've eaten for emotional comfort, because nothing else in the world is nice to you except your food. And I'm sure we've all had that before. Weirdly, only German has a name for it, so there you go. Kummerspeck. Moving swiftly onwards to der innere Schweinehund. Again, something that you can't really translate. You could have a go at it saying the inner pig dog. It's kind of a monstrous being inside of you, in your heart, that makes you lazy and very disorganized. And the truth is, nothing you've ever not achieved was your fault. All of it was the fault of your inner pig dog, because your inner pig dog is the embodiment of your laziness. And for example, I am not an athlete and I'm not a superstar and I'm not, a genius, all because of my inner pig dog. I also don't go to the gym, I don't cook healthy, and sometimes I drink too much. all because of the innerer Schweinehund. So you know the feeling when you leave a party and someone said something to you and you were gonna be like, yeah, I have a comeback, but you had nothing to say and you were just like, and said nothing, and then you left. And no one now thinks you're cool, and it's all a really sad story. And then on the way home from the party on the stairs, you're like, no, I should have said this. And suddenly it comes to you, but if you now go back to say it, that's gonna be even lamer, so you can't do it and no one will ever hear the joke. That's the staircase joke, and the Germans have a word for it called der Treppenwitz. Next up is ein drei Käse hoch, which means that someone is very small, and everyone in Germany will know that if you pile 3 cheeses on top of each other, that's not very tall, and that's exactly the size of a small person, ein drei Käse hoch. Next up is something that I've come across very many times in my life, and I have had very many times myself. We're talking about eine Schnapsidee. It's a booze idea, basically an idea you have while you're completely drunk. In my case, I would say that was being a prima ballerina. Now here's the thing, we all know about Germans, and if you're coming to Germany, you might want to get used to this. Germans are always unhappy with everything, even if everything is perfectly fine. And we all know this German person who's a bit like, yeah, I'm all good, I've got a job, I've got a nice girlfriend, everything is perfect, but you know, I'm really not happy. And everyone else is like, why? Why? What is the reason? And the reason is that this German will feel Weltschmerz, the pain of the world. So no matter how good your life is, you always carry the pain of the whole world as well. You can never feel happy, and that is Weltschmerz. Now, if you translate Verschlimmbesserung literally into English, it will not make much sense, because it means making something better through making it worse, or actually making something worse through making it better. And yet, I promise you, every German has been there. For example, the other day I was sad, I was eating an ice cream, it fell to the floor, I was even sadder. So for a moment I was happy and then I was sad again. And what I had done to my personal situation was Verschlimmbesserung. Now, like I said, the German is never fully happy, and that is just something we have to accept. All of you know what homesickness feels like. You're somewhere, maybe a place you've never been before, maybe you miss your family, you miss your friends, and what you feel is homesick. Now, when you come back home, you're happy and everything is okay. No, the German, however, will not be okay. He will, once he's at home, again feel like, oh no, now I have my family and now I know my place and I'm in my comfort zone, but I again want to leave. So he will have Fernweh, which literally translated means farsick. He will be needing the distance again. So, like I said, the German is never happy. As soon as he's not at home, he will feel homesick, and as soon as he's at home, he will feel Fernweh. So this one time, I wanted to be a prima ballerina, and my girlfriend, who is a prima ballerina, was like, no, you can't do it. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I can do it. I'll prove it to you. And I went to an audition, and she came with me. And it was so embarrassing for her that she actually cringed more than me. So she was embarrassed on my behalf. And that is a very German feeling. And so the Germans have a word for it. And that word is Fremdschämen. And finally, there is a word that is now used in English as well, quite a lot. It's Zeitgeist, which translates to the spirit of the time. And it's a very nice German way to really perceive what's going on, and you know how it changes. And one day you think this, and you think everyone else thinks it, and you think that everyone else thinks that you think it, and then it's gone. And that is Zeitgeist. Okay guys, thank you so much for your support for me to become a prima ballerina. It really means the world to me. Also, thank you for watching Expatrio's videos about funny German words. And if you like this, subscribe down there and leave us a thumbs up, and hopefully see you in the next video. Bye bye.